This is Sunday night. Hello, I'm Melissa Doyle. Lee Barnett is a very determined woman, a fiercely protective mother who was prepared to break the law so she could be with her baby daughter. She was a wanted woman running from country to country, but finally she settled on Queensland's Sunshine Coast. And for once, she hoped she was safe. Then came the betrayal. And on November the 5th, 2013, the FBI turned up on her doorstep. Here's Rani Sadler.
For the first time in 20 years, Lee Barnett, her daughter Sam and son Reese can be a family at ease.
Look at this crawfish in here. Have you had any crawfish yet, Reese, to eat?
Lee no longer lives with the constant threat of being arrested, locked up and taken away from her children.
Being able to be together, being reunited with everybody, it's just fantastic.
She raised Sam and Reese in Australia, but the close family was ripped apart when Lee was arrested and jailed for kidnapping her daughter.
Do you have any hesitations at all about what your mum did?
No, I don't think I do. I think that what she did was pretty impressive and pretty incredible. I just commend her for what she's done.
I mean, she did break the law, but what she did was with 100% good reason.
Lee was on the run for 20 years, crisscrossing 4 continents to evade capture.
I was really scared. I never, ever stopped being scared the whole time.
And it's only now she's finally been released from prison, Lee is able to tell the full story of her life as a fugitive, a secret hidden from even her children.
You don't like the term kidnapper, do you?
No, I actually thought about putting it on a business card, actually. I don't mind that. I like parental kidnapper a little bit better.
Did it surprise you to find out your sister was the subject of one of the world's biggest manhunts?
Yeah, that was a big surprise for both of us.
When Lee was in her early 20s and working as a flight attendant, she met stockbroker Harris Todd. They lived in Charleston, South Carolina. Their marriage had its ups and downs. Then Lee fell pregnant.
We were sitting in the living room and watching something on TV, and I said something to him about, I have a feeling I could possibly be pregnant. And he said, that's okay, just get an abortion. And I said, no, I'm not gonna get an abortion. And he said, yes, you are. He said, you're not gonna have this baby. And so we got into an argument, and that was the end of it, really. He stayed, but he wouldn't speak. He wouldn't discuss it, he wouldn't acknowledge it. He said it was a fate worse than death.
So he really, really didn't want this baby?
No, not at all. Not at all.
The fight caused Lee and Todd to separate. And by the time their baby girl was born, the relationship had broken down completely. Both launched legal action against each other.
So when you gave birth, he had a restraining order out on you and you had a restraining order out on him?
Yeah. He wanted nothing to do with the baby and kept telling me and everybody else, there is no baby, there is no baby.
The baby was named Savannah, and the battle over her custody ended up here in the Charleston courts, where Harris Todd claimed his wife was violent and a threat to the child.
So all of a sudden, a man who did not want to have children, who did not want you to have this baby, wanted you to have an abortion, suddenly was going for custody of your child. Full custody. And what reason did he give to you?
He filed for custody, saying that I'd be dangerous to my child, and he wanted to protect her.
The court came down in favour of Harris Todd, awarding him custody of his 9.5-month-old daughter. Immediately after proceedings, Savannah was taken from her nursing mother and given to her single dad.
When Savannah was 9 months old, Harris was awarded full custody.
9.5 months. She was a nursing baby. And the judge force-weaned her at that moment.
Tell me about that day.
It was horrible. They'd made a backroom deal, and I was the only one that didn't know. And then I wasn't going to have custody. I just couldn't believe this was happening. I just couldn't believe they could take a nursing baby from a good mother.
Harris got to take Savannah home to live with him. Lee would be allowed access to her baby only 4 days a month.
It was the happiest point of my entire life. I was the happiest man on earth.
But Lee says on one of her contact visits, she found an injury on her daughter's face.
Savannah turned around and looked at me, and she just, like this, dazed. Blood was coming out of her nose. She had a huge contusion here, and she just fell into my arms. And I said, "Oh my God, what happened?" And he said, "She just had a little spill."
Harris insists it was an accident.
She fell when she was with my mother at the house. She'd fallen. She had a little bruise coming up there and maybe a slight abrasion.
But to Lee, this was a sign that Savannah was in danger. To keep her safe, she felt she had no choice but to kidnap her daughter, turn her back on everyone and everything she knew, and run.
How did you feel as you made your way out of here?
My heart was pounding, and I was scared to death. I thought they would catch me. Oh, I thought they'd catch me every day almost. I never let up. I was really scared.
Lee used forged documents to get a passport under a different name. Baby Savannah's name was changed to Samantha.
She took the most important thing in my life from me. That was done vindictively. She knew how much that would hurt me.
From the US, Lee and Sam fled to Europe, Asia, Africa and New Zealand before putting down roots on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland.
Samantha. Oh, nice glasses. Did you put them on yourself?
She sent a video message to close friends and family to let them know she and her baby would always be safe.
I promise and swear on my life that I will continue to take care of my daughter. I will keep her safe. I will never allow anybody to harm her again.
She was gone. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. It was unimaginable.
Lee quickly put her past behind her. She met and married John Geldenhuys. Together, they raised Samantha and had a son of their own, Reese.
How great a mum was she?
As good as any mother could be. I mean, we had everything she could physically do and provide for us.
What did she do for you?
Everything. No, you know, she gave every opportunity. She gave love, affection. You know, there's just, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it.
Despite living in constant fear, Lee tried to give her daughter the most normal of childhoods.
Sam got what I always wanted. She had a dad who loved her and a mother who loved her and a pretty normal life and a little brother that was a surprise, so.
She had a wonderful life.
Yeah, she did.
During their teen years in Queensland, the kids had no idea of their true family history. Lee had held her secret tight, but she did tell one couple, close friends, and in 2011, after a falling out, they turned on her and sent Harris Todd an email.
He had a photo, and he sent me a photo of my ex-wife with my daughter. She had a big smile in this one picture, and I could recognize my smile in her smile.
Harris contacted the authorities, and on November 5th, 2013, the FBI and Australian police turned up at Lee's door. Reese arrived home to find his mother under arrest.
I just came home from doing a math exam in grade 12, and there was 15 or so FBI agents at the house, and she just took me to her room and I said, "Mum, what's going on?"
By all reports, you were remarkably calm when they came in to arrest you.
I'd been waiting for them for so many years that I think that the worst thing I could have ever done was a bad example to my kids.
Lee had just minutes to call her daughter Sam and reveal a lifetime of incredible secrets.
She said, look, we don't have very much time. I'm being arrested. And of course I went, oh my goodness, you know, I'd never expect out of anyone in the world my mom would have done anything. There was no one else, there was, you know, that could really help that much. So I just stepped up my game and I did whatever I could to support her.
I was still young. I didn't really understand what was going on at all, what was going to happen. I thought maybe she was going to come home the next day. So I really just didn't know what to expect or think.
After 20 years on the run, Lee Barnett's secret double life had been exposed. Her daughter Sam and son Reese had no idea their mother was a fugitive, wanted for kidnapping Sam from Lee's estranged husband, Harris Todd.
You always knew the day would come when you'd be in jail.
Yeah, I always thought I would be. I always thought I'd get caught, and I didn't think that there was any chance in hell that I could get 23 years, or I was even up for 23 years.
Lee has returned with me to the Charleston prison where she served her sentence.
It makes you mad the way Harris went about things. He sent in the FBI.
I knew that Harris would have never let up until he saw me underneath the jail. It was never about Samantha. It was all about getting me and punishing me. And I knew that the longer it went, the madder he would be getting.
Ultimately, do you think you committed a crime?
I don't believe I committed a crime by any means. My constitutional rights were taken from me. A judge is supposed to be impartial and be fair, and there's no way in the world that a judge was impartial or fair.
What did she give to you? What did she do for you?
She gave every opportunity, she gave love, affection, enough so that when the world changes, she was able to prepare us to handle it.
For Sam and Reese, one of the biggest surprises was learning they had different fathers.
It was bizarre to think, you know, that we didn't have the same dad. I think that probably was one of the worst things, really.
There's a lot to take in.
I first met Lee in 2015 when I visited her in prison with Sam to report on their extraordinary story.
Hi. Good, thank you.
How are you doing here? I hear it's a little better than the previous jail you were in.
You're in here with about, you're in a giant room with up to 64 women.
Wow.
So that's kind of interesting. But no, it's fine. It's clean, and people are quite nice.
And you're doing okay. You've.
No, I'm doing fine as long as I do. And she needs to start having fun.
Stop it. You know, we get emotional.
I cried for hours afterwards because I was like, I shouldn't be leaving her there.
Okay,
love you.
Honey.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
But Sam doesn't share the same love for her biological father, a man she's never known.
There will be people who are watching and who say the rights of the dad have been compromised here.
In normal cases, for sure. The problem is with our situation, it's completely falsified. So when she lost custody of me, it was under false pretenses. It was fake. It was made up, essentially.
Still, Sam recently agreed to meet her father. For both, it was an awkward reunion.
When she came to the door, I didn't know whether she wanted to shake my hand or not. But so I held my hand out and she said, no, I want a hug. She didn't know me. Just didn't want things to get out of hand.
Do you think that you might be in greater contact with him in the future?
I guess it's up to him. You know, I think us personally, we know where we stand, and if he wants to have me as part of his life, so, you know, the same goes, the old saying, if he wants me, then, you know, he'll let me know.
Reese believes his sister is better off away from her birth father.
If he was a respectful man, he would have come up to my sister and apologized and said, what happened is done, we can move on, you can be my daughter, and she would have been like, sure. I mean, I don't think she would have had a big problem with that at all, but he didn't. He kept trying to put my mum in prison when I was 17 years old, she was only 20, and he just kept pushing and trying to put her in prison for longer.
First people on Sunday morning in prison to see me. Oh. And I forget it's Sunday because I don't know.
Lee's now on parole, but may never be able to return to Australia because of her criminal conviction. The old friends she left behind 20 years ago now rally to support her.
Thank you, girls. Glad to know that.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Well, we're here for you.
We're here for you. I can rely on y'all having one.
Yeah.
But Lee's true life is no longer with them. It's back in Australia with Sam and Reese.
Do you think if your mum is deprived of the opportunity of coming to Australia, she will be being punished again for something that wasn't her fault?
Yes, but I also think that we'll be being punished too. You know, it's very important to realise that by her being punished, it punishes us. And by me not being able to have my mum through things that I really need her through, it's kind of cruel.
I had friends that asked me, where's home to you? And I always said it's where my children are. I'd love to go back to Australia.
You want Australia to let you back in?
I'd love it. Yeah.
Lee's application to be allowed to come home to Australia has been denied by the Home Affairs Minister, Peter Dutton. But the family says it hasn't given up. They will keep on fighting.